Soul Garden.
Hello Soul Healers, and welcome back to Soul Horoscopes weekly update from my webcam to yours. I'm Christopher Witecki, your host to the universe. And a couple updates. For one, if you'd like to be watched over by the Guardian Agency for just 30 days during this next Saturn in Libra transit, you know, we're going to graduate to the new soul capital, I'll do it. I'll do it either in text message or email. Come on down to soulmart.me and I will do some real-time healing. It's daily coaching for the entire tested period. And if you're already in the Guardian Agency, we've already got you covered. We're already watching your back. And if you'd like to jump into your inner child, well, we've got Nikki Bright, and she's going to jumpstart creativity this Thursday night. I know Jenny Watson's in that class too, so am I. We're going to have a good time. So if you want to join us and jump in your heart, come on down to soulmart.me and get yourself a ticket. They're really affordable. So we've got lots of stuff going on. I mean, it is probably one of the busiest birthday periods you have ever had, am I right? We're going to wrap up your birthday period in this particular next few days, and then we're going to shift into the Sun in Libra. Karma is moving very quickly. You can really tell this Mayan whole calendar thing might have some actual practical application, right? Because we've been changing more than anything. Right now with the Sun in Virgo, we're working on the IB, state of awareness, and you're wrapping up your ego consciousness. When you are a Virgo, IB or Virgo is your ego. That's what you defend, when you defend it, when you take action, and this turns into charisma, personality, etc. So this week you're going to wrap up your charisma, the master shui, the part of you that talks people into things, the part of you that talks people into healing. It's the magical part of your personality that usually diffuses people and makes people realize that virgin quality of you is worth trusting. All right, so it's going to be an intense wrap up. Then the Sun will move into Libra, where we'll focus on soul capital. But let's first start with Monday. We get started on Monday. It's actually cloudy, but I think you're feeling pretty good. The moon in Libra puts emotional focus on soul capital right away, and so it's time to feel what you deserve. This is also a self-esteem transit in the very beginning, so you might be having some confidence issues. Neptune ruling the day means that you're going to intuit exactly where your personality should or shouldn't be. It's those final touches on the charisma. This might also be things like hairstyle and makeover and wardrobe, because that does count to that last inch or ego of us. But at this level, this is really that persuasive side of you, the part of you that can charm the pants off of somebody, so to speak. Now, the planets themselves have a few themes that are worth noting. One is this fear Bermuda Triangle that still goes on for another few days. It's really between your self-esteem and drawing boundaries here. Uranus is saying, okay, there's a line between how far I will go and then how that turns me into value or not value. So there's this balance back and forth of where to draw the line and where to get value. But also Pluto this week is really pushing you to get rid of fears between your inner child and your trust and your inner child and your ego. So really it's inner child, ego, and where to draw boundaries as well as your abundance. So it's a fear triangle, but we will get through it. Mercury itself has moved into Libra, so you might feel a little duller than before. Mercury was in your sign for quite a while, but thoughts now are ahead in this triangle, focused on, again, what you're worth. So Monday, you are feeling it in a cloudy way, and it's time to intuit where that sweet spot is with personality. On Tuesday, you're feeling quite strong. Sunny and fertile is my prediction. The moon is putting focus way into what you deserve, and we're going to talk about that in a second. But Saturn ruling the day says it is time to decide and commit to that personality. So today, you want to go ahead and commit to what you are, and who you aren't. That's what it is, the I am statement. I am this and I am not that. And that's what you're committing to on this first day. This triangle comes to a head because Pluto goes direct. Pluto's been retrograde for the last 6 months, so you've been reconsidering what your heart really wants, but now the pursuit of your heart's desire moves forward. It will continue moving forward for 6 months. So this is a good thing, and this starts to shake some of the fear. Uranus in Aries is that part of you that's got to stay flexible with where you draw your boundaries and why. Okay, so staying flexible to where lines are drawn is vital, and then an open mind, looking at yourself from a new value perspective, or releasing self-esteem issues that no longer apply, false self-esteem issues. But the biggest issue of the day is the moon crossing over Saturn. Let's take a closer look. The moon in Libra to begin with means emotions are on your self-esteem. And in the very beginning of the transit, you're focused on value, whatnot, productivity, and whatnot. But then as the moon hits Saturn, it is time for you to first release all of your doubt, all of your false expectations for what you want to manifest as well. It's like you don't want the Porsche, you want a ride that you love. You know, let's not give God too many details. As you release the false values, you embody the true values, and this is where emotion and your commitment to what you're worth come together. So this is a private rah-rah pep rally inside your own self-esteem today, where you release the last details that hold you back and you put your emotions and empower what you're really worth. This to me is the setup for your success or failure when the sun moves into Libra in just a few days. So hopefully you do the work. I think you will. Get your heart behind it. On Wednesday, action takes over and Mars rules the day. So we're going to want to step out and do something about this new value. You're going to want to go ahead and send out the resume, put up the sale, whatever it takes, announce to the world your prices are going up, but you want to take action and take that emotional feeling of what you're worth with you, okay? Now your ego is also stepping out into its personality. It's a simultaneous step with self-esteem and confidence at the same time. So this is the launching of the new self-esteem with the ego behind it on Wednesday. So it's a good day on Wednesday. Thursday, we squat and hold space. So you don't want to take any further action with your ego. You don't want to tell the world anything else. You just want to squat and let gravity start to fill and seep into exactly what you deserve. All right. Now the moon is well into Scorpio, and so your attitude is triggered. And at the same time, you may find that you can snap into an argument, or may have in the last 24 hours as well. This snappiness is the fact that the moon and Mars are working together in the intellect and pushing you to speak up for yourself, to employ the right attitude, and to draw the certain emotional boundaries in your mind that need to be drawn in order to separate the old value from the new value. So Thursday is holding space with the ego and personality, but maybe doing some battle in the mind and keeping the attitude on the right path. Then comes Friday. Now Friday, there is cloudy and chance of some minor showers. A few reasons. One, we're getting tested. We're at the 29th degree of Virgo. This is the final day of your birthday. It's a moon rule day, and this is where you get tempted into the old ego. So the weak version of you, or the mean version of you, or the ugly version of you, the version of you started with at the beginning of the month that you didn't like, you're tempted back into that. This to some degree is a test of faith, but really you should just get your emotions behind this new personality and push. So you want to push if you're out in the world. Push what you know you have worked on all month long. At the same time, you're also, just starting off with this new soul capital that you're breaking free from. But the moon in Sagittarius is really what makes you vulnerable, because if you are emotionally depleted from the last 30 days, it's Friday that you're going to feel it. There'll be a burst of showers just because your emotions need tending to, which is the nesting and resting that's necessary. Now there's some other stuff going on in the planets. One is you need to nest, you need to rest, but the moon is opposing Jupiter for a few hours in the day, so there'll be a real force between wanting to get out there and succeed, but also being so tired and needing to recharge yourself. And really, you should recharge yourself. This trine is going from Venus in your house of subconscious and inner faith to your moon, or to your emotions. So what this is saying is your career is not going to make you feel better. Inner faith, knowing that you will do well no matter what, that is what's going to make you feel better. That golden faith you worked on not too long ago. So remember, it is a test of faith trying to pull you back in the old ego. Just hold the space and move forward on Friday. Then on Saturday, waboom, the sun moves into Libra and we start the soul capital transit. We're at 0 degrees, and I always say 0 means 0. This is the no man's land between two states of awareness. Now we do have the new Karen Nagel lunar videos for download. These are monthly moon reports that we put off until Libra starts, so you can get that. And if you don't know your moon sign, just text Moon Goddess to 96362. We'll look it up for you in a couple of days and get back to you. These will be very valuable to help you. Now on this particular Saturday, you are feeling clouded just because, for one, we're in the transition, and for two, the moon is moving into Capricorn and calling for you to release some old inner child stuff. So it's a funky day. Let's look at the planets on Saturday. The planets, you can see here the moon is going to shift and head toward Pluto by the end of the day. So depending on where you live on Earth, it will either hit the end of the day or while you're sleeping. GA would solve that. But this square means that there'll be some point between you feeling, can I take care of myself and do this, and your awareness knowing the work ahead of you. Okay, the sun knows it's got to raise your soul capital. You're feeling it. Perhaps it's literally a money crunch, and so you're gonna have to work through the fears of, can I do it? The answer is, of course you can. Now, with the sun in Libra, we're working on blue energy now, my favorite color, which is the throat chakra, ruled by Taurus, but the throat chakra is used to give and receive through spoken word, right? Throat chakra is also protection on the backside. But we're going to be working on the front where we give and receive communication and also negotiation. And for Virgos, this comes down to oops, excuse me, wrong one. This comes down to what you manifest. Giving and receiving is what Virgos do to make money. And Virgos are, you know, they always say Virgos are always fair. That's because they use fairness or giving and receiving when it comes to managing their soul capital. Virgos are very honest with themselves about what they think they deserve and whatnot. And that should tell you two things. One, that you have the power to change your values because it's all in your hands. And two, it comes down to your definition of fairness, okay? So the first 10 days of this soul capital I manifest transit, because that's what you're working on, soul capital turns into what you can make or manifest or not. We're going to work on just the straight details that hold you back. What throws you off balance about yourself? Your thighs, your hairstyle, you know, your resume, these need to be fixed. So we're going to work on soul capital first 9 days, 10 days. Then we're going to work on your ability to take that soul capital and manifest with it, which is productivity. And then you're going to help with abundance, which is being able to bring in more than you need at any time and to have that cliche of light work abundance, right? We're always going after the abundance, the abundance. Well, this is where you go after it. And this is where the final test is, where Saturn is hanging out up in the master shui of this. So on Saturday, you are beginning to step into soul capital. So if you feel anything kind of bombing out, you have the moon moving into the inner child, and you're starting to look at really how much you value yourself or don't value yourself. So it's a little bit of a hard card reality, but I do think that if you've done your soul work, this is going to work out. Now on Sunday, you now click into 1 degree. We all click into 1 degree. The first degree is not ruled by any planets, and it's always based on how much love we can bring into the topic. So the question is, do you love yourself, yes or no? And does your love mean that you value yourself? Do you value your self-love? Does your self-love turn to value? Very, very simple stuff. Now the good news is it's sunny and childlike. So I think you're going to say bueno yes on this day, because the moon has moved deeply into the house of inner child. And so you are expressing inner child on this first day of value. So I say on the first day of transitioning of the Saturn graduation, Virgos are going to feel pretty good and get an A+, whether they get my texts or not on that day. Looking at the planets, the universe is helping us in a couple of ways. One, the moon crossed Pluto, so we released old emotional baggage with your inner child. That might have been a slight depression. That might have been realizing a childhood memory. That happened up into the 24 hours before Sunday. Kind of depends on where you live on the planet. Then God gives us a yod at the late stages of this, which is basically telling us how to handle this. And what this is saying to Virgos is, move into your inner child. Take your amazing career that seems to be moving forward, take that golden inner faith of Venus, that inner faith that you worked on so long in the late summer, and channel that right into re-inspiring your inner child. Your dreams can come true, you will make it happen, and most importantly, you're going to afford it. That's what the whole transit is with the Sun in Libra. So Sunday is a fun day if you let it be. There is one square you do face on Sunday, and that's between thoughts and faith. Faith versus thoughts, you know? And at the end of the day, you want your faith to inspire your thoughts, not your thoughts to take away your faith. So make sure that energy is flowing in that direction. Oh my goodness, 13 minutes. All right, Virgos. I know it's been a bumpy road, but we're going to get through the end of this year. Make sure you go down to soulmart.me, or if you don't have money, come on down. We have free office hours all week and a great staff that volunteers. There's no excuse not to step in your heart and learn right now. Until next week, live, love, be.
So